Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I, a 38-year-old male, recently discovered that my wife, a 35-year-old female, has been involved in an emotional affair with a man she met online through a game. And guys, this is about a guy who's married 19 years. He thought he was trying to do a nice thing to his wife, getting her into the online gaming type of thing. I think he says Final Fantasy or something. And long story short, he found that she was having an affair with a dude. Not just talking to him and all that as they do in these things, but actually full-on spicy pictures and talk, and she's in love with him, blah, blah, blah. And it's a whole big mess. And also, you're going to see, this isn't just one guy. Now, his wife has a history of drug and alcohol issues. So it takes things to a whole new level. So this guy here is struggling on how to handle the situation. It's a big mess. And I'm going to go over here, guys, just to show you that once a cheater, always a cheater. And you discover that your wife or girlfriend or whatever, or if you're a woman watching this, you discover that your guy is doing things like this, it's best to really look at the big picture and realize it's not going to work. Because you're going to be plagued by, you'll be haunted with thoughts of what she's doing. You're going to be haunted with thoughts of what if and all that. And it's best to just part ways and move on. But some people need to go through a lot more to discover that. So I'll be going to really hit home about this in a sense, in case you guys find yourself in a situation remotely like this. So it starts off, says here, during the pandemic, I introduced my wife to Final Fantasy XIV as a means for her to have fun and socialize with others online. 3 months ago, I found out she was cheating on me. So much for no good deed goes unpunished. She was trying to help her find another entertainment, another outlet to meet people, if you will, if you call it meeting people. I got a hold of their private chat messages, both in-game and on Discord. It felt like my world fell apart. Heartbroken doesn't even begin to describe my pain. She pleaded to rebuild our marriage and promised me that her affair ended in 2021. Now I don't know how old this is, but anyhow, yeah, emotional affair, huh? Now, how do we know this hasn't branched out? How do you know you're getting the full story here? She assured me it was only an emotional connection and that she would never act on it. It doesn't matter. My wife is also dealing with drug and alcohol addiction and our 15-year-old dog dying, which affected her decision-making. Well, my sympathies absolutely to the passing away of a pet. That's heart-wrenching, believe me. I've been through that. But that doesn't give an excuse to cheat on the guy. And by the way, drug and alcohol addiction, really? What? You're with her with that? Some people say through sickness and health, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? People are addicts. How do you know an addict is lying? Their lips are moving. I have an addict in my family, and believe me, I know all the tricks. This addict in my family, whole life, in and out of rehab, drama, turmoil. Yeah, believe me, it's not something you want to be married to. She met him through their guild, and he is 10 years older than her. They quickly became friends, playing the game day and night, and often staying up past midnight. Over time, she started feeling emotionally connected to him. Doesn't she have a freaking job, a career? You have kids. Why is she spending all this time with there? Isn't she tending to your children, bringing in money, cleaning the house, going grocery shopping, cooking dinner? She's spending all her time screwing around there? Or are you just, there-thering her because of her issues? They got married in the game and began engaging in descriptive erotic role-playing. What the fuck? And now, did you know they got married in the game, or is this what you found out afterwards? Get a fucking life. She admitted that she initiated the first move to make the relationship more personal, moving their chats from an in-game to more personal conversations on Discord. They talked about their daily activities and passions outside the game, similar to dating. She shared her real name and personal email address with him. She claims they did not exchange phone numbers. Who cares? Who cares? And by the way, I don't buy that for a second. This is the point, dude, where you maybe send her to go stay with her mothers for a while, or her friends, or her sisters, and you start figuring things out. Their ERP evolved from playing as game characters to more personal role-playing as themselves. She shared her personal fantasies. She never shared them with me, confiding in him about our marriage issues, revealed personal secrets, and exchanged personal photos. What kind of personal photos are we talking about here? Her, on walking the dog, or on a trip to Disney World, or personal photos? She can't recall she sent any nude photos, but some showed a lot of skin because she was in great shape at the time. She can't recall. Had there been that many pictures sent that she just can't seem to remember? What a steaming pile of crap. She knows darn well what she sent. And by the way, about the great shape at the time, you telling me she's going to let herself go? I'm sure the drug and alcohol has had an effect on that. Or sitting around playing fucking games all the time. The most painful part was them calling each other husband and wife and talking about what they would do to each other when they met in real life. Bro, time to throw in the towel. She confessed to having deep feelings of love for him, daydreaming about being close to him physically, and often imagining meeting him in person. Okay, what else do you need? Time to go to the lawyer. What hurt even more was discovering that she often secretly messaged him while we were in bed together. She even messaged him while we were spending time together as a family. To make matters worse, it gets worse? I found out she's been ERPing him with 4 guys. Okay, if you gaming guys out there, what the fuck is ERP or ERPing him or whatever the hell that is? You can let me know. I don't have time to Google this shit. Yes, I could Google this shit now that I'm talking about it, but frankly, I got better things to do with my time. So you guys can let me know what ERP is or ERPing. She's been ERPing 4 other guys, the last one in March 2023. Although it wasn't as personal as with the first guy, their chats were very sexual. So it isn't just the one dude she's claiming she's so in love with and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? More guys. Attention to validation. And remember, this is the drug and alcohol addict. Okay? So remember, how do you know they're lying? Their lips are moving. Initially, she concealed critical details about the affair, unsuccessfully tried to delete messages from other men, and was overly secretive. She only confesses when she's left no choice. So in other words, you got the trickle truth. Fighting against revealing the truth until the very end. I uncovered most of the details about the affair myself, and getting her to confess took a lot of hard work. And I guarantee you still didn't get the whole story. Bro, okay, you're getting the information. I'm sorry this happened to you. You know, no good deed goes unpunished with the whole getting around the disc on the game thing, whatever you want to call it, that platform, whatever. But seriously, why does she have a job? Why does she have a career? Why isn't she helping with the kids, with their homework, taking them to soccer or karate, cooking dinner, cooking lunch, shopping, dishes? Really? You're enabling your behavior. And again, the drug and alcohol thing. For some background here, my wife and I have been together for 19 years and have 3 wonderful kids. These poor kids. We've been together since high school. From the beginning, we've loved each other deeply and passionately and never been apart. Yeah, I can tell how much she loves you deeply and passionately. And so during this whole time with raising kids, she's been a drug addict, alcoholic. Over the years, our early years were magical. Oh, for God's sakes, this isn't a movie. Full of love and excitement. We shared common interests like taste in music, movies, nature, gaming, love for the other cultures, dreams of traveling, and starting a family. This wacko should not have had kids, but I'm sure you love your kids and, you know, all that. My wife is an amazing mother and wife. She doesn't sound very amazing to me. Again, what happened to taking care of the kids? She's incredibly loving, profoundly empathetic, highly intelligent, and never fails to make me laugh. Well, now she wants to make you cry and barf because of what she's doing. Highly intelligent and bullshitting you all these years. Unfortunately, after our children were born, my wife struggled with postpartum depression and had continued to deal with depression for many years. Okay, that happens, and it's a mess. And you helped her, but her going down the deep end and probably lashing out at you is not the way to go. She also carries guilt from 2 procedures due to our financial situation at the time. Whoa. It's one thing to have one, but this happening more than once? Really? During her battle with depression, I was coping with anger management problems and what I thought was severe depression. Okay, you're both fucked up. I'm joking with that. I don't want any guys overreacting, me being harsh or anything like that, you know, but they both got problems. Despite seeing many doctors and trying different antidepressants, nothing worked for me. I felt like a robot, moving through each day without emotional connection or feelings. Well, obviously those drugs really numbed you. With much regret and guilt, I confessed I haven't provided the support she needed and didn't act as a caring husband I should have been. We fought frequently and I was very abusive. I was verbally abusive, constantly shouting and condescending. I failed to help with housework, assist with the children, or be there for her emotional needs. Well, it sounds like she was certainly provoking you. It sounds like well, if you're not there doing the dishes and cleaning and all that, and she's screwing around on those things or doing something else or drunk or high, who's doing the dishes in this house? Who's doing the cooking? Do they have a live-in nanny? What the fuck? Is Mary Poppins living there? Oh, I don't think Mary Poppins cooked. Maybe she used magic to cook. I don't know. My wife and children walked on eggshells around me. Well, that's not good. My demanding job took up so much of my time and energy, and I failed to make her feel loved, cherished, or appreciated. Well, did she behave in a way that warranted you making her feel loved, cherished, and appreciated? Or was it never-ending turmoil? This whole family's a fucking mess. Despite our marriage falling apart, my wife chose to stay with me, even though she had every opportunity to leave. And now she's cheating on you. I started seeing a new doctor who was very empathetic and very understanding of my situation. The doctor looked into my condition more thoroughly, thinking the real reason for my symptoms wasn't the medications, but something deeper inside my body. Well, that's usually how it is. After several blood tests, I discovered that I had low testosterone and hormone imbalances for many years, probably since my late teens. It's a relief to finally understand why I've been feeling this way. Okay, you got some issues, and you can work through them as a fucking man. You haven't been perfect, but she's no saint either, and we're now dealing with the current situation, and she could have left, but instead she was cheating on you. And I have a very hard time believing this is her first rodeo in that department. After 6 weeks of testosterone replacement therapy, I noticed an incredible rejuvenation. I started feeling like my 18-year-old self again. My energy was at its peak, I began exercising and lifting weights again, and my brain fog vanished. My overall mood improved a lot. For the first time, I felt like I finally had control over my emotions. Well, that's great, man. Good for you, pushing through it and all that, and I'm sure you're feeling good. And the exercise definitely helps. Now you move forward. Problem is, she's still stuck where she was. Unfortunately, just as I was beginning to feel hopeful about the positive change in my life, that was when I discovered her affair. I chose to forgive my wife and rebuild our relationship because she stood by me through all the tough times, no matter how difficult it was to live with me. Before my testosterone therapy, she suffered from years of neglect and mistreatment from me. Breaking up with her now that I'm feeling better would be unfair. Bro, no, because I think you're being really tough on yourself here. You were going through a tough time, but it doesn't sound like she was exactly a picnic the whole time that you were married here. It doesn't sound like you said drug and alcohol abuse. That takes it to a whole new level of problems and headaches, my man. And I'm just not buying all this. I think you're just feeling guilty, and it's easier to blame yourself for what's going on than actually accept the fact that she's not exactly the person you thought she was. That's how I see here. A lot of guys don't want to accept that their woman is trouble or a cheater or a liar or not what they thought she was, because that would make them feel dumb for not seeing, picking up on that. So it's easier to blame themselves. What I did wrong. I neglected her. I did this. I did that. That's what I think's going on here. I think he definitely wasn't a saint, but still. I believe she wouldn't have felt the need to cheat if I had been more emotionally connected, attentive, and loving. You know how many guys have written stories to me over the years, or stories I've read, who've been very attentive and loving and done all these things to make their girl happy, and guess what happened? She still was cheating repeatedly. So, come on. I began working immediately and reconnected with my wife and building a stronger foundation. I wrote her several heartfelt letters, something I haven't done since we were kids, to express my deep love for her and apologize for neglecting her. Yeah, she probably wanted to bar. You did all that after you caught her cheating and in love with this other guy and all that? Really? Rewarding bad behavior? That's just going to make her think, shit, I can do anything to this guy. We both acknowledge our main problem is communication and is always being overly cautious about each other's feelings. I broke down in tears in front of her and our children. Smack! Come on, dude. Hold it together. Thanking her not for leaving me and for not giving up on me. She was cheating on you, and you're thanking her for not leaving you and giving up on you. She did give up on you. She probably didn't leave you because it was too convenient to stay around, paying the bills, the house, the divorce, all that. This is the first time I ever cried in front of my wife or my kids. Well, make it your last. I've fallen in love with her all over again. Smack! Yeah, watch how that works out. And I feel more emotionally attached to her than I ever since we were kids. Yeah, being attachments are definitely aren't very helpful to guys, particularly ones to women that have a history of cheating. It's the attachments that get people into trouble, guys. I started regularly doing chores at home, helping her with her studies, and spending more time with the kids. We are both reigniting our love for each other and finally communicating. Our sex life has greatly improved and become more fun because we started living out our fantasies. Now, what you're both doing is say, we want to pretend nothing happened, and we're going to bury it down deep and just act like everything's wonderful. And we're going to hook up like Catholic rabbits multiple times a day, and I'll make everything better. The stuff's still going to linger. Trust me. Thanks to the energy boost from the TRT, we've been having SCX almost every day, sometimes even 2 to 3 times a day. Before this, we were lucky to be intimate more than once a week. It has brought us closer together and added new excitement to our relationship. She even said she hasn't felt this love with me since we were teenagers. Well, let's just say for argument's sake that's true. That's how she's feeling in the moment, and that can change like that. But remember, she's the cheater. She's on damage control right now, trying to keep you around. Even though I've wholeheartedly forgiven my wife for her affair, I can't stop thinking about it. Now reality sets back in. Remember I said you can't just bury it down deep and forget about it? It's always on my mind, whether I'm working or relaxing. I think about it constantly, maybe 100 times a day. I have frequent panic attacks and vivid nightmares where I see them being together. It feels exhausting. Plus, I'm also filled with regret for how badly I treated her years before I got help. Are you the one that initially felt bad, or did she keep bringing up, guilt-tripping you about things you did or said in the past? You know, people can go through hard times, and somebody can say things and all that, but just nowadays, if anybody ever like stands up for themselves or gives somebody some shit for how they're being treated, they're being labeled as verbally abusive or something like that. There's degrees to that. Yeah, you can't let this go. You're always going to imagining her every time she's on her phone. Is she talking to some other dude? Every time she's playing this goddamn game, which you should have banned her from, I might add, is she talking to other guys? You're not going to let it go. And that's why people can't just sweep it under the rug. I feel guilty all the time and keep replaying how I mentally abused her. Would you stop, dude? I cry nearly every day and struggle to eat and drink thinking about it. Smack! I thought you said you're on testosterone treatment, not estrogen treatment. You're acting like you got estrogen being injected in you or taken by oral tablets or something, the way you're crying all the time here. It's really draining me mentally. Well, you're draining me mentally. I'm also having major trust issues. I hope to repair a relationship and maintain our family unity. But there's a part of me that wants to leave due to her ongoing dishonesty and holding on to the secrecy. Despite the many chances she's had to come clean, despite this, I believe she's making a real effort to change. Dude, you're like saying one thing, and then the next sentence, something to completely contradict what you said before. Okay? Again, I think you just don't want to accept that she is not the person you want her to be. I think you're taking way too much blame for things to make yourself put the blame on you than actually having to admit that she's not who you thought she was and is not a very nice person. That's what I think you're doing. It happens. A lot of guys do it. How do I know? 3,000 plus videos of me doing this shit for 4.5 years and life experience. I pulled that shit when I was younger. Didn't want to admit a girl was a problem and put the blame on me because it was easier that way. As ridiculous as that may sound, because then otherwise I'd have to accept that she's not that great. I fucked up by being with this woman. You get the point. So I see this not working out, and I would seriously reconsider how you want to handle things here. Of course, you don't want to break. A divorce is a pain and a big headache and all that, and hurtful. But it sounds like the kids are darn close to being legal adults, and they're going to be okay. But this is just one big mess. You can't get over it, and she's still not telling you the truth. And once a cheater, always a cheater. And I might add, you said she's had lifetime drug and alcohol problems. I know what those people are like because I got one in the family again. This is something I get, and they don't stop. The bullshitting never stops. They're master liars, master bullshitters. So at the end of the day, you want to keep this up? Okay, stay with her. But there you go, guys. It makes the point about once a cheater, always a cheater. And the people that got the issues with the addicts, they don't change. And how will eat you alive wondering all the time what the heck's going to happen next. Now, real quick, some comments, and I'm going to wrap this up. One guy says here, she knows perfectly well that she sent nude photos. She fell in love with someone else. This would be a deal breaker for me. You're in love again and have forgiven her. Better make damn sure she's in love with you and not in love with the idea of avoiding getting served divorce papers. Tough situation. I say ride it for a while, do the work, see how long the current situation lasts before it begins to degrade. If it doesn't stay good for you, if it does, don't be surprised when she takes off. Repeats the gaming EA thing. Good luck to you. Yeah, he can ride it out, maybe for himself or the kids, but I think things are going to go right back to the way they were. Another one. Whatever you were like in no way give her a need to cheat. The only people who need to cheat are cheaters. You're obsessing about her past cheating when everyone about the way you described her implies she's doing the same thing now with guy number 6, 7, or 8, etc. She has no remorse, and her only consequence for cheating was that you apologized to her. Yep. And last one, this guy says, do you know how to know if your wife has any authentic remorse for what she did? She would have come clean during her confession. She would have voluntarily told you all the info, including what she did with multiple men. Your wife didn't do that. She's been checked out of the marriage for years, and it's only for the security that your lifestyle provides her. Exactly. Doesn't sound like she works, obviously him paying the bills. She's a cake eater and pursued several sexual and emotional pleasures with multiple men. She wasn't even loyal to her own online husband, cheating on him with other men at the same time as you. Your wife has no concept of what love actually is. Since your wife has no real remorse for what she did, you have no chance at real reconciliation. She'll fake it so she can try to convince you to stay with her, continuing whatever relationship exists between you and her now, but never doing any of the difficult work to figure out why she allowed herself to pursue these actions. Because in her mind, she's not wrong. He's wrong. I guarantee she manipulated the hell out of him, saying, you abused me, and Your only recourse is divorce if you don't want to suffer more heartbreak until your marriage dissolves permanently. She isn't a safe partner and won't be until she suffers severe consequences for her actions. Serial cheaters have no chance of reforming themselves unless they hit rock bottom. There you go. And the whole comment section is full of that. So we shall see what happens to this guy. So this is the type of things that can happen to guys if they're not careful and let the gal manipulate the hell out of them and toy their emotions. And how guys will rather blame themselves than have to accept that she's not what they thought she was. But again, once a cheater, always a cheater. Give it time. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.